Mind if I join you?
Oh, hey, Chester. Yo, what are you doing here?
I always come here to let the kids play. What about you?
You know, I come here every morning, just feed the birds at the park.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Hey, it's good to see you, man. It's a nice surprise.
Yeah, brother, you too. But for real though, why are you just sitting here looking out into the distance like you're waiting on someone to come take your picture?
You know, I'm practicing modeling look, the whole look out into the distance thing.
That model look is ugly in your jump shot.
Quit playing, man. You know I schooled you in one-on-one last week.
Just wait until we play again next week. The gym has never seen moves like mine.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I don't think anybody should see those moves.
But for real, what are you doing?
You know, just out here getting some air and quiet. Get out the house for a bit, you know?
With 2 kids at home, trust me, I get it. That's why I come here too. Get them out of the house while some random kid at the playground unintentionally babysit them.
What are you talking about?
If I bring them to a park, there's typically always some other kids who they end up playing with, which means I don't really have to pay too much attention to them.
Free babysitter? All while you look like a great dad for taking your kids to the park.
Don't worry, I'll teach you all the things you need to know.
Just been thinking a lot lately.
Must be hard. What about?
I don't know, just reflecting, I guess.
Okay, Mulan, what have you been reflecting about?
Mulan?
Yeah, you know, because she has that song about a reflection.
Terrible. Terrible.
It was pretty bad, I know.
I just thinking a lot about fatherhood.
It's a big one, man.
You know, you have your kids and they know who their dad is. My daughter still has her real dad, and sometimes it just feels like I'm trying to fill a seat that isn't mine, you know? Like there's a checklist of things that I'm just not quite hitting.
Wow, that is a pretty heavy reflection. Do you think you're feeling like you're not hitting the checklist is from you or from her?
It's a little bit of both. So I see the way that she lights up when her dad comes around, and sometimes it feels like he gets to do all the fun stuff while I'm just the disciplinarian. It's like I'm doing all the work while he just reaps the benefits.
I don't think we've ever had the conversation, but I had a stepdad growing up. I never knew my real dad. He died when I was just a baby.
You never told me this.
I guess I never really would have had a reason to tell you.
How'd you feel about it?
As anybody does. I always wondered what my dad would have been like, how he would have talked, what he would look like.
But how'd you feel about your stepdad?
Honestly, best man I've ever known. He was swift as a coursing river. He had the force of a great typhoon. My dad had all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon.
Oh, man.
Real. He taught me that fatherhood isn't about DNA. It's about showing up, loving, and guiding.
You're really stuck on these Milan references, huh?
Yeah, I just watched it again, so it's in my mind. But honestly, he was strong and gentle at the same time. He guided me with sternness, but never exploded in anger. And his love for me was, you know, it was something that no matter what I did, I never doubted. You know, I understood that it is unconditional.
Sounds like a good man. My dad was around, but he was more of a shadow than a presence.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it is what it is. It's weird, you know? It's like, how do you learn to be a father when you didn't have one to model after?
Well, I've found that fathers are not just the blood that bore us, but we can find the essence of fathers everywhere. Coaches, uncles, friends, even in the cracks of failure where we learn what not to do.
How does failure teach you to be dad?
Trust me, brother, I'm constantly failing as a parent.
Yeah?
Definitely. Let's take this morning, for example. I was working, was on emails and a conference call at the same time. Kayla was trying to make herself breakfast. She ended up knocking her bowl off the table and spilling cereal and milk everywhere.
Yeah, and milk somehow just splatters everywhere.
It doesn't even make sense how far it goes. But instead of approaching the situation with grace and understanding, I snapped. I started yelling at her, pay more attention. You know, she needs to clean it up. I don't have all the time to, to waste on this. Bro, I went off.
I mean, it's understandable.
Maybe, but, I should have been more grace-filled. It was an accident,
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. That was just one scenario, and there's so many examples of times that I've failed at responding the right way, or that I've led my kids wrong.
Well then, how do you know that you're doing it right?
You don't. He's not always. My stepdad used to say, being a dad means planting seeds you might never see grow. It's faith.
Faith. Faith in what?
Faith that you're doing the best you can, and that God will work it all out.
Sounds a lot like hope.
It is, but it's also freeing. You're not called to be perfect. You're just called to be present.
Wow. I don't know, it's just, sometimes it feels like no matter how present I am, I still wonder if I'll ever measure up to her real dad, in her eyes.
No one's keeping track. You don't have to measure up. You're supposed to be you.
It feels like she's keeping track, or at least comparing the two of us.
You used to say she won't treasure her memories with you just as much.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to believe it sometimes. Got all these voices in my head that just tell me I'm not enough.
Look, the fact that you're even sitting here talking to me about this shows a lot. Shows that you care, right? That you want to be the best you can be for her, for your wife.
Really do. It's just...
See, that's the thing about fatherhood. It's less about what you see, it's more about what you sow. Hey, look at this guy. He's learning something.
Forget about it. That's all I can say in a New York accent.
Here's the juice, man. I've learned that fatherhood, that life really is impossible without leaning on God.
God? I didn't know that you was a church guy.
Not necessarily, but I am a God guy.
A God guy? Man, that sounds like a t-shirt slogan.
At the end of the day, he's the ultimate father. He shows grace when we mess up. He loves us when we think we're unlovable. And most of all, he tells us that we are enough.
Enough. That one hits.
Yeah, he's already equipped you with everything you need. It doesn't matter if you didn't have a great father to learn from. You can look to him. That you're already perfectly designed and you deserve all the good things he's brought in your life. You're enough.
No, I never really thought of it like that. I've been just trying to do this whole thing on my own, but leaning into God, I don't understand that.
It means that you trust him in your weakness. You're not alone, Kyle.
But how? Like, how do I trust him?
Simple as this.
As what?
This conversation.
So you're just saying I just talk to him?
Exactly.
But I mean, how do I talk to someone or something who isn't here?
Now, I had that same thought, but you can imagine it like God being on the other side of a phone call that you're always dialed into, right? No busy signals, no voicemails. You can just talk to him like you're talking to me. Tell him your struggles, and he will respond.
Okay, I mean, I guess it's worth a try.
It's always worth a try.
You mean like you'll try raw fish?
What? That doesn't even relate to this. Right? And no, fish is supposed to stay in the ocean.
Come on, man, you have to trust me on this. Fish and chips at Dickie's is something like you'll never experience. I promise you it'll change your life.
Wow, confident in it. But I am definitely not eating that, especially after ball. My stomach ain't what it used to be.
Okay, I give up. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you talking.
Of course. I'm happy to be able to share some of what I've learned.
You never know, man. Maybe I'll share some of these skills on the court with you.
Get out of here. I thought we've already been over this. that you might as well call me professor because I'll take you to school.
Wow. I can't believe you just said that. Oh, man.
Good.
This episode was inspired by conversations about parenthood, specifically fatherhood, as we explored what it really means to be a dad. Reflecting on our own lives and how our fathers shaped us, we recognize that there are many different kinds of dads, and no single definition can fully capture what it really means to be a father. One of our writers, Curtis, wrote this episode based on his own experiences being a father, while also taking experiences from others. TGK decided to create this episode because even though it only offers a glimpse into fatherhood, it highlights an essential truth. Being a dad isn't solely defined by blood relations. At the heart of it all, we all have a unified Father in heaven who serves as an ultimate guide, showing us how to be the best fathers or parents that we can be.
You mind if I sit here?
It's free country.
Rough day?
Try rough life. What are you doing here, Evan?
A better question is, what are you doing here?
Just wasted another day in paradise.
That bleak outlook isn't gonna get you anywhere.
Thanks.
I'm just trying to help you, bro.
Well, good job. Listen, you have a good day, okay?
Jason, hold up. Look, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to piss you off.
Oh, well, good job then.
Emily told me that you stormed out.
Is that what she told you? What else did she tell you?
She didn't say much, but she told me that y'all had an argument.
Did she tell you that she kicked me out?
Is that why you canceled game night?
Oh, yeah. Emily told me that I was only allowed back in the house if I packed up.
Dang,
I can't go back to my own house, Evan.
Dang. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, well, those are the breaks.
Do you mind
What?
not smoking? I hate the smell.
You ever feel like your life is hanging on by a thread?
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh, really? You have been there?
Yeah.
How have you possibly been there? You have a house to go back to whenever you want.
Maybe not in your exact situation, but I've been at the end of my rope before, trying to tie off the end just so that I can hang on a little bit longer.
Well, good for you. Looks like you found a way to climb back up that rope.
Yeah, I did.
So?
So what?
Are you just here to tell me that you know how I feel? You have no idea what my situation is like. I am living out of my car, okay? I am standing in the rain, trying not to get soaking wet when my entire world is on fire.
Looks can be deceiving, bro. Before you knew me, I was a completely different person. 8 years ago, I was married.
You had a wife? I didn't know that.
Yeah, most people don't. Because it was an awful time in my life. I was almost always angry, and for no reason. She was a good woman. I think I was just mad that I was nowhere near where I wanted to be in life. I hated my job. I was almost always broke. And honestly, I was just pissed at the cards that I'd been dealt.
Oh yeah, I hear you there.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever dealt me my cards, no, they must have a very wicked, weird sense of humor.
I felt like no matter what I did, I was trapped, stuck.
So what about your wife?
What about her? She was supportive, always, but it got to a point where she just couldn't do it anymore. And honestly, I didn't blame her. She kept asking me to pray, and I figured, who the hell was I to expect a savior from any of that?
Yeah. You are so spot on. Emily always said, Jason, just pray about it. But no, I mean, he does not want to hear from me. He does not care what I have to say. No.
It seemed like the only time I would try to pray was when she was getting ready to walk out the door.
And she did, didn't she?
She finally did. Leaving me to pick up the pieces of the life that I shattered.
Why are you telling me about this now? I mean, you've always acted like you got it all together and you can see me out here struggling.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm ashamed. I don't really want to go back to that time in my life.
Thanks a lot. Because I'm exactly back there right now.
Do you really think that you would have listened to me?
Yes! No. Maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't think so.
But man, why are you telling me this now?
Sometimes you just need to shut up.
I need to shut up.
Listen.
Me shut up.
This is one of those times. So that you can see that even though you're busy digging yourself an early grave, there is still hope for you.
Don't tell me about Amazing Grace and all that stuff.
There is amazing grace. Even if you don't live by those words or even come close to believing them.
See, that is what I'm talking about. You and Emily always preaching at me. God.
You know what? You're right.
Exactly.
You've got it all figured out, Jason. I'll be praying for you, man. Good luck.
Wait, Evan, hold up. I'm sorry. I know you're just trying to help.
I know that this is hard to hear, but God loves you, Jason. He loves all of your broken pieces, all of you completely.
I don't think so. There's not much in here to love anymore.
It doesn't matter how bad the stains are. You can still take your tattered and dirty clothes and make them new again.
Wow.
You just have to ask him.
Ask him. You mean pray? No. I prayed all the time when I was a kid, and it never helped. It didn't bring my dad back. No, I prayed every night for that man to come back, and my dad never came back. And so I was 13 years old. I nearly had to flunk out of school because I had to take care of my family that he ran away from. No, listen, it's a nice dream, man, but it doesn't work.
Jason, God is not your dad. Even when you turn away from him, he is still there waiting for you. And he still loves you. Loves you.
I don't think so. I messed up too much this time.
Maybe instead of looking into that bottle, you should look into him. Okay, go get help. Start praying. Go to AA. He can show you the path, but it's up to you to walk it.
All right.
Yeah?
All right. Okay.
What?
Maybe you could come to a meeting with me sometime.
Of course. I'm right there with you, man. I know how amazing you are, even if you want to cover it up.
Thanks, Evan. Thanks. You think Emily will take me back?
Honestly, I don't know. But I do know that looking into that paper bag, trying to find the answers there, not gonna help. Maybe when she sees you, taking these steps, finding your faith, she'll see the man she fell in love with.
I hope so.
Me too. Come on, let's go.
The song Need a Favor by Jelly Roll raises a powerful question. What does it look like when you only turn to God in a moment of need? Too often, He becomes an afterthought until something goes wrong and you need Him to fix it. But relying on God only when we need a favor isn't the foundation for any meaningful relationship. Imagine having a friend who only contacts you when they need a favor. How close would you actually feel to them?